Welcome to Quirky Queen's Journals. My name's Kirsten. So I've been making marbled papers, and what I've done it about 8 times, 7 or 8 times. So what I did was, I'm going to show you the good ones and then go down to, basically each time I've done it, I've got better results. So love these two. And then the colours do come up very pale. So I consider these ones the good ones. These are more the starting ones. You can see there, I've tried it in wet strength tissue paper, it actually came up okay. Some of them are so pale you can't really see them. And then some of these on here, where is it? Here. I've just made circles. But it's just to show you that when you first do it, it's not going to be, the results won't be the best. You need to make a special water. So I used cornflour because that's what was in my cupboard. I did try it with wallpaper paste, and it didn't work for me. That's not to say it won't work, it just didn't work when I tried it. This cornflour, so what I did was I took a big heap dessert spoon, and then I mixed it up with some cold water, just, you know, to make a kind of milky consistency. And then I put it in here, and then I added boiling water, stirred it all, and let it sit till it cooled down. Giving it a stir every now and then. I'm going to stir it again with the spoon because you can see it more around the edges here. And what that does is it makes your water thicker. So you need the cornflour, you need water, you need a big tub. Now I've been using acrylic inks and golden high flow acrylics to do this. I did try to make up from normal acrylic paints and I had no success. They just kind of floated to the bottom. So I'm sticking with the acrylic inks and the high flow acrylic paints. You need paint brushes, you need a tub. The other thing you don't need, but it helps make those ringed patterns that, is it suminagashi? I basically make up a little cup of water with some washing up liquid in it, and then you can use that to create the rings with. So far, cornflour, washing up liquid, big tub, the water, the high flows and the acrylic inks, brushes. Now I'm just using printer paper. You need a paper that when you put a dot of water on it, I'm not using that one, that's my favourite one. Here, there's an empty one. Is it? I think it is. You need a paper that when you put a dot of water on it, it sits on top. Because that means it's sized. And what that means is the paint will sit on top of it as well. You know, when you lift it out the bath. If the water sinks into the paper quite quickly, it's not sized and you won't get the pattern on the paper the same. You also need somewhere to hang them. I'm using a hanger that I've hung on my easel above a great big blanket that I use to catch paint drips on, so that they come out very wet and you take them out the bath and then you rinse them with water. I've got a big tub with water in it that, similar to this, that I rinse it in. You don't want splashes of acrylic paint everywhere. I need to test if this is ready. Please work. There. See the way that dispersed really well? That means it's ready. It's a nice consistency. You just reuse it for your whole session. Okay, so there's lots of traditional methods for this. And I'm just having some fun and playing about. So I've got a paintbrush here. my black high flow acrylic paint. So I've got one that I'm going to use for the washing up liquid, which will be this one. And I've got one that I'm going to use for the black paint. If they don't disperse fast, if like you don't get the big circle, it may be that your water isn't thick enough, or your paint isn't got enough, it's too thick. Basically, your paint needs to be lighter than the water. So we've got a lovely big ring. So see the way I'm holding that on there? Right, I do that small circle, but if I hold it on for longer, I get a bigger circle. I can also direct it. I just keep my washing up liquid brush in the washing up liquid all the time. Right, I've got paints here that I've added pouring medium to. I've not had any success with this, but I wanted to give it a try. The other tip is you want a rounded brush at the end. Right, I'm going to use this blue. I don't expect this to work, but no. It does work with pouring paints. I have seen that it works with pouring paints. It's just that I don't get it to work. Right. Okay. Now I find the blue, the phthalo blue, is very strong in here. As in, it's a very dominant colour at the end. Can also put gold in. This is fluid acrylic. It doesn't show up brilliant. Oops. But it does show up, and it definitely shows up on the water. And obviously you can distort. Basically, they're kind of repelling each other, so they don't blend together. Right, see the swirl we're getting there? Let's add a bit of yellow, very low in the yellow. There is lots of, like there's special comb tools that people use, so you can make that with cardboard and then toothpicks as your comb that you can sweep over it and make the, you know, the repeating pattern shapes with. There's obviously lots of traditional patterns as well. And I think I'm using printer paper, so with better quality paper you may get better, more detailed results. Right, I'm going to lift this. Now it's important when I've lifted this that I rinse it off, because what happens is the initial top layer will stick to the paper, but then with you pulling it out you're going to get more of the kind of watery stuff on it, and what happens is that'll run and it will ruin your pattern paper. So I find it curls up to the edge quite quickly, and then that's when I grab it. So you can see it running, so I'm going to go and rinse that running off. And because we rinsed it off, I don't have those running lines. We just use this again. Some of it may come up in the next one, but so this time I'm just shaking some of the gold paint in here. And then I'm going to use nickel azo gold because I like how this is on here. This is quite messy, so you do need to protect your area, especially the spattering. The harder you spatter, I suppose, would it be the bigger? I'm not sure. I think if you've got a lot in the brush, you would get a lot more larger balls. Like here, this is going to put quite large ones on. Trying to be gentle. So we've got a bit of a mass there now, don't we? This is the washing up liquid one. Oh, I tried not to stamp it quite as hard. Okay, this colour comes up pretty nice on it. Right, I think we should pick this up because this is looking pretty nice. So you need to rinse it off or you'll get the run lines. And the printer paper, it runs off fine for me. I've just pulled out these fluid acrylics and I'm getting some nice effects. Well, that's good. They work as well. Let's do a bit of magenta. Have a skewer. I think that's quite, we've got nice spirals on that. Oh, I never got more printer paper. So this is marker pad paper that I had, and I thought, let's try this because it might be a better quality. It's got the sizing. Right, I'm going to pull it from here because that's where it's curling up. Yeah, see? Let's go and rinse that and see what happens. Nothing at all. Oh, do you know what we should do? Pyrrole red. I'm just playing about. I know that I'm going to just slightly really like this here. Oh, Kirsten, that was silly. Let's use the stick and see what we can do. Come on. They're delicate looking, aren't they? Right, we should lift this one. Printer paper. Oh, that's my favourite one yet, but I'm going to rinse it. That is beautiful. Let's get some of this back in. You know, we should probably do some more black. I like just trying different ways to direct it. Seeing what you can do with it. Right, let's go in the way. Let's bring some of the outside in. I'm interested to know what sort of paper or paints would make this more vibrant. Oh, why is that not? I don't know why that's happening. I would like to know, but I'm just going to go with it. Obviously as well, it would be nice to mix some colours. Do you know, let's put some rings in. Oh, a wee bit too much washing up liquid on the brush there, I think. I'm going to lift this. I should say as well that I kind of tip the brush. I just touch the surface or let a drop fall on the surface. But as I kind of get to know how the water, the cornflour water is reacting and the paints are reacting, I do push in a bit more. See the way, so that circle there, I changed the shape of that just by doing a squiggle inside it. That one was a bad demonstration. Oh, I didn't want you to go that big. I think I'll use the stick, see if that'll help make it smaller. Right, I'm going to go and rinse it off. There you go. So I'm going to show you some of the, put the lights back, some of the prints that I've made over the last 2 sessions. Obviously only one was on video. So I like this one. I think it's got some nice details in it. I like this part. This just needed a wee bit more. But I like the quiet area, but just, it's too quiet. This worked out really well. The contrast of the colours. Oh, this pouring medium. Sorry, not pouring medium. Pouring paint. That worked a treat. Just so you know. So this, I'm not putting the acrylic ink down. This high flow and fluid acrylic. All of them worked really well with nothing added to them. Just cornflour in the water and that was it. And they were just straight out the bottles. Really like this one. I like the contrast. Though, one thing I would like, there's much more detail on the water than comes onto the paper. And that's something that I think with, obviously we're just using cornflour and our paints, but professionally, that's something, you know, if you use the right products and the right papers with time, you know, I think I could learn that. This is still, if it's not my favourite, it's still one of them. So that's like the stone pattern. At the moment as well, I've only really achieved kind of swirling and the stone pattern. I haven't, you know, done anything more complex. What I think these will be great for though is for people that make junk journals. See the mutedness of them, because they're definitely in the background. That one's very pale, but actually it's got a lot of colours in it, which I like. And I love this. I love the blue to the black. That one's very bright. I still love it though. This one, despite that there, what I like is we've kind of got one big design with little ones around it. But that's what happens when you don't clean off the paper. You know, you don't rinse it off. You get lines. So when I've rinsed that, I've obviously missed part of it. Or I've not rinsed it. Because it took me a few goes to realise you needed to rinse it. This one makes me think of a Dali painting. It's the way the colours and it's the kind of nature of the shapes. Obviously not quite in the same league as Dali though. This one's lovely. It's just subtle and I like the way the shapes kind of repeat themselves. I like to think of the composition aspect, and I think that's what makes me like some over others. This is my new favourite. That just worked out really, really nice. That was the yellow flecks on it. I think the angle of the brush, you know, helps with the shaping as well. Again, this is one of those ones that if that was much more detailed on the water, and when I've pulled it up, you know, it wasn't a block shape, but whereas on the paper it's a block shape. I mean, you can see some tiny subtle variations in it, but I would have broken that down more if I should have known it wouldn't come up as well. And we have this one again, more detail. So I need to research about how to get more detail on the paper and what it is that I need to use to get that detail. Do I need to buy the specific products? But anyway, I just wanted to explore this because it's another form of printmaking, I think. Well, if you're putting stuff on one surface and lifting it onto another, that is printmaking, isn't it? So, and also, I'm interested to know if you could put jelly prints on and lift some of these effects onto jelly prints. Because they're so transparent, I think you could get some nice effects if you can lift onto them. But I haven't experimented with that yet. That's for another day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.